and this is This Week in Vegas.
The Ninth Island Connection podcast.
Just has such a great ring. You guys are going to get used to it too. Why is it This Week in Vegas?
Well, because we are talking about everything happening this week in Vegas. We're talking news, events, weather, our own experience here on the Ninth Island of Las Vegas.
So that you can have the best possible time while you're here in Vegas this week. But before we get into it, hit us up on Instagram. We're Ninth Island Connection. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We post daily updates about what's going on in Vegas. So if you're not already, go ahead and follow us on those platforms for daily updates on what's going on in Vegas.
And if you're not familiar, Ninth Island Connection is a television show that we create all about Las Vegas businesses, events, activities, people, all the things happening in Las Vegas. It airs across the country, it airs in the territories, and it airs on Hey Vegas.
We've got a lot of Vegas information for these guys.
Yep. And so let's get right to it, starting with the news. We did talk a little bit in our last podcast about it being pool season because typically March 1st is the seasonal pool opening date. However, it depends on the weather and the staffing. So the pools are open in Vegas, weather permitting. And we talked a little bit before about the Flamingo pool. Now they've done this big renovation on the Flamingo Go pool.
$20 million they put into that thing.
Yeah, which it actually was not really that, in my opinion, not in a need of a makeover. I mean, maybe some new furniture, but aside from that, it was a very nice pool.
And the
very
furniture,
popular pool.
The furniture is really, that's just wear and tear. It's 120 degrees for the summer, and it does get below freezing in the winter.
Yeah.
So that's going to be expected. Other than that, like you said, it seemed fine to us.
Yeah. But you know what? Flamingo, go ahead, put that money into the pool. I can't wait to check it out. And I'm sure you guys can't wait to check it out either when you're in Vegas. The 17th, St. Patrick's Day, is the day that the Flamingo Go Pool will be open. And it's going to be packed, I bet.
And that's as of today, because everything changes every single day. So again, follow us on social media so that you can see the daily updates, because that may change based on the weather. We're going to talk about the weather here in a minute.
And one thing I remember about going to the Flamingo pool, we've gone there a lot. Sometimes we just chill at the family pool, but it is a lot more fun to be at the Go pool, especially if you're not a fan of kids in Vegas, because it is 21 and older at the Go pool. I remember going and trying to find a spot, and there's like day beds everywhere. Like, it's hard to just sit. We like to sit on the edge of the pool and just put our feet in the water. And that's really hard to find that space.
Yep.
So if you really want to have a pool day at the Go pool, once it opens up, you can make your reservations online. And you know what? You're going to have to pay, but you'll at least reserve your spot.
If you just walk up, you're most likely going to get in, because I don't know what capacity is at the Flamingo pool, but it seems like it's shoulder to shoulder standing room only is capacity there. And you want to have a good experience, memorable experience, make a reservation. You will not regret it.
And well, at least hopefully they keep it. They did have if you were diamond and above for Caesar's Rewards,
oh, that's right,
you did have a separate line and could kind of skip the line. So hopefully they keep that, because that was kind of a nice little perk of being diamond.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's talk steak.
Oh, so Golden Steer, just all transparency, we have not been to Golden Steer. We're not steak people. Don't come at us. We're just not big beef eaters. So it's not something that we'd go out of our way to do, because it is so popular. You need a reservation, and it is very busy there. We do have friends that have been there many times, and they swear by it. And our friends are foodies. So if they swear by something in Vegas, we definitely believe them. So for the first time ever, Golden Steer is opening a second location. This is going to be in New York City. This is going to be on First Avenue in Greenwich Village. That's it. That's all the news that we have. We do know that the Golden Steer is the oldest operating steakhouse, continuously operating steakhouse in Las Vegas. It's been around since 1958. Mm-hmm. And if the walls could talk, I'm sure they'd have some stories that they allegedly could not allegedly tell from all of the people that have dined there throughout the years.
Yeah, Rat Pack days, Sinatra, Marilyn Monroe,
the entire Like all the real people from the movie Casino had dined there. And speaking of the movie Casino, a lot of the restaurant scenes were based on experiences that happened at Golden Steer, were recreated. So that's where these guys used to dine.
Yeah, very cool. And so unfortunately, they are not opening a second location in Las Vegas. It's a very busy restaurant. You have to make reservations there. But it's kind of cool that something from Las Vegas is going to another city, because usually Las Vegas, we're getting the stuff from all the big cities. We get stuff from like LA, New York, different places like that. And we're actually sending something somewhere else. We as this, if I'm a part of it, right? But I just think it's just really cool. It's cool that something is so awesome and popular here in Las Vegas that it's going to go to a place like New York.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it, Vegas is a foodie destination.
Yes, it is.
So to see something leaving, it's not surprising.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on from the food, let's get into some of the concerts and entertainers that are coming here, or not coming here this weekend, but that have announced that they'll be coming here eventually to Vegas.
But you're going to want to get your tickets soon. These are the recent concert announcements.
Yep. First up, we've got Ringo Starr and the All-Star Band. They're coming to the Venetian, not until September. That's going to be the 17th through the 22nd, but tickets are on sale.
Lewis Black is doing his thing over at the Venetian, and that's going to be August 22nd. And that's as of right now. So keep in mind, a lot of these initial announcements, those dates are based on pre-sale tickets. So if those tickets sell out super fast, they announce more dates. So if you can't come during those times, just keep an eye on it, because they may announce more dates.
Yep, for sure. Alanis Morissette, I'm kind of a little excited about this. It just brings me back to like the 90s, and I just love the 90s music, and I was a big Alanis Morissette fan. She's coming to the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace, and she's going to be here and not till October 15th through November 2nd, various dates sprinkled in there. And there's 8 shows as of now. Of course, what we see a pattern of in Vegas is they start with a certain amount of shows, and then once those are selling out or it's looking good, they tend to add on more shows. So maybe there'll be more shows, or maybe she'll become a regular residency here in Las Vegas.
And then we've got Kelly Clarkson, who's going to be doing her thing over at Caesar's Palace as well. And that's going to be a couple times as of right now. So July 4th through August 16th, various dates. So just check out Caesar's Coliseum, check out the website for more information. And then coming back in the fall, November 7th through the 15th, back to Caesar's Coliseum. So check the website for specific dates and times, because a lot of times they'll do 2 shows per night.
Yeah, which is really interesting that she's now at the Coliseum, because she had a couple residencies at, I think when it was still Zappos, she was there. And then when it became the Back Theater, Kelly Clarkson was just recently, like last year, had a residency at the Back Theater in Planet Hollywood. So now she's just moving across the street, I guess, but all Caesars.
So like my father-in-law likes to say, back in the day, she was a regular here in Vegas, and now she's coming back.
All right, who else is coming? Let's see. Oh, Louis C.K. He's coming back to Vegas, and I guess coming back to the world. I mean, he was kind of canceled for a little bit there for a few years.
He's been doing his thing back in the comedy. He's back in comedy clubs around the country, LA, New York. I know he's been doing his thing, making a comeback.
Okay. So he will be in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. That's going to be not until December on the 20th, but you can get your tickets.
So Janet Jackson, and we talk about this, and you know what? Laugh at me if you want to. But we've been here long enough. You laugh all the time, though.
Yeah, well, not for this, but
just in general.
Just in general.
That's just my life. But this is a pattern. I've said this before, and I joke about it because it's true. Janet Jackson has announced her final shows back in Vegas. So added 4 more shows in May at Resorts World Las Vegas. And that's no hate. That's no hate. Obviously, there's demand. Resorts World Las Vegas is a beautiful property. Not a lot of people gamble there for whatever reason. I think it's location-based. I don't think it's the property at all, because it's an absolutely phenomenal property. Hopefully, as that end of the strip continues to get built up, we've got Fontainebleau. There's supposed to be a bridge that's already been approved, a pedestrian bridge from Wynn to Resorts World Las Vegas. The Underground People Mover, that's the Boring Company that's moving Teslas all around the city. That's officially a stop. As more stops get made, get built and completed, that property's the traffic for that property should increase because it's a beautiful property. Anyway, long story or short story longer, Janet Jackson added 4 more shows there in May at Resorts World Las Vegas. And again, that's just due to the demand. Is that going to be her final shows again, or are there going to be encore shows to the final?
I kind of feel like it's never final unless you're not selling the tickets.
Right.
Yeah.
They sell it, there's demand, they'll stay.
Yeah, for sure. Going way back now, we had,
back in the day.
Not back in the day, but maybe this was an artist that my dad did listen to back in the day. Paul Anka, he's going to be at the Smith
100%
Center.
on your dad's playlist.
Probably.
Absolutely.
He'll be at the Smith Center on the 22nd of March. Tickets are on sale. And the Smith Center is a great venue to catch. We have a lot of different symphonies, plays, musicians that perform there. And it's a unique area. It's kind of just off of Fremont Street, probably maybe less than a mile, I would say.
It's walkable.
I don't know that I'd walk that area.
But it is walkable.
It is walkable. I wouldn't walk from Fremont Street, though, over there.
It's closer than Mandalay Bay to the Strat.
Well, it is. But the area in between isn't always the safest.
It's up and coming.
It is up and coming, but it's not up yet. It's still coming.
Still coming.
Yeah. Stay tuned. But they have the Discovery Children's Museum is over there, and that's a really cool place, a nice family-friendly place if you're, live in Vegas and you have kids or you're visiting with children. That's a really cool place to check out.
Vegas with families.
Yeah, they do. And I'm not going to start that little debate on this podcast.
There's the world is divided.
Yeah.
On families in Vegas,
yeah.
But a lot of families do come to Vegas,
and we have a lot of family-friendly stuff because families live in Vegas. We're a normal city if you get off of the Strip or Fremont Street. But there's also Vic's is over there, and that's a nice little restaurant, / music venue, and that over there as well. So you can have to grab a bite to eat there. Head on over, catch Paul Anka at the Smith Center.
That's a nice little Friday, I think.
Yeah. All right, what else do we have? Ooh, I'll let you handle this one.
So we have some big Raiders news. Now, over the past few years, there's been a lot of debate on whether ownership, and I'm neutral, I'm Switzerland when it comes to this. There's been a lot of debate on whether ownership of the Raiders actually care if they have a winning season or not, because home games sell out.
Yeah, always.
Whenever the Raiders are at home, Las Vegas wins. The city is packed with people that come to town to watch the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium.
Well, or their team, or just to experience a game at Allegiant Stadium. I mean, it is, I'm a little biased, but Allegiant Stadium is such an amazing just venue for live sports. I don't love it for concerts just because I don't love stadiums for concerts. They're so big and I like more intimate venues for concerts. But for sports, for football, oh my gosh, it's great. So I can see why people are coming here and paying the prices that our tickets cost here. They probably would pay less money if they were watching their team at home, but they wouldn't get that experience.
And Kristine is talking based on true firsthand experience. We've been on the sidelines during games. We've done college football on the sidelines. We've been in box suites, fully catered. We've been in the stands for the Raiders and Minnesota Vikings.
we could have used a cot and took a nap during that game. I don't know if you're familiar, that was the game where nobody scored until 2 minutes, and then it was 3-0.
Yes.
And I was cool, my two teams are going to play each other, and I'm going to be so happy with the outcome. And by the third quarter, I was oh my goodness, somebody score a point. This is torture. Ugh. Anyways.
But so we have the knowledge when it comes to the experience at Allegiant Stadium, and there's really nothing like it.
No, it's really cool. It's an amazing experience in itself. But anyways.
So I think the ownership, and maybe that's Tom Brady buying his, I think about 5% ownership in the Raiders. Maybe that's the influence. But Max Crosby, better known as Mad Max, has been signed to a really historic contract with the Raiders. or it's an extension because he's still under contract, but they've extended him for 3 years for over $106 million.
Wow.
And the wow factor is over 91 million is guaranteed money. That makes him the highest paid non-quarterback NFL athlete in history.
So with that, then, does that mean if he like sprains his pinky during a game and he can't play, then he still, if he's out for the season,
the way
he
that
can still
I read it,
make that money?
now there's a lot of you out there that
Or
are
if they get rid of him?
hardcore sports people. They have to pay that contract out.
Oof.
That's guaranteed money. When Aaron Rodgers went and sprained his ankle early in the season, a couple years ago, he still got paid like $75 million just for showing up.
I was having a good day and then you had to drop an Aaron Rodgers on me.
I'm just saying, guaranteed is guaranteed.
Okay.
Why would they do that? Because that's their best player and he sells tickets.
Yeah.
And one thing that I have to say about Max, you guys that don't live here locally, he's all over the community.
He does a lot for the community.
A ton in the community. He lives here. His family's here. He's everywhere in the community. He does so much, as do the rest of the Raiders. But for whatever reason, we tend to see him a lot more in the community, volunteering, giving back. So kudos to him. Well-deserved. He is a true, just local player here in Vegas.
Yes. Congratulations, Max. I'm sure you're clearly watching our podcast. But
he's not watching. He's not watching.
But I mean, you know what? Let's hope that money's a little incentive to, get some wins under our belt this next season. All right. Last but not least on our list of news is the jackpots. We're going to work our way to the big one. So we'll start at the smallest one. The smallest one was just, a measly $10,000.
Yeah.
That was on bingo. That was over at South Point Casino. That's just off the strip if you're not familiar. It's a very popular locals casino. It's massive. They have all kinds of entertainment and events over there. If you're looking, if you get bored on the strip, I don't know if that's possible to get bored on the strip, but if you're looking for just a little change of pace, take a Lyft Uber out to South Point and grab a bite to eat out there. There's so many awesome restaurants and there's so many pai gow tables. And
a lot of pai gow tables.
There's bingo, and that's what this person won $10,000 on, was bingo.
Yeah, and we talk about that. And I've had people mention before in other podcasts that, 10,000 and bingo, it's whatever. The reason we talk about that is because we've never done that.
Yeah.
And we hear that bingo in Vegas is a ton of fun. And there's like a bingo pizza party at Green Valley Ranch. There's bingo at South Point, Sam's Town.
Plaza does it. I think the Plaza's doing it like every weekend in March. I think they have like their bingo thing happening.
It's a big thing here in Vegas, and it's on our list to do that. And yes, we are going to document that.
Yeah. Because
we have to play bingo in Vegas.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right. Next one, we're moving up a little bit. This was $15,000 was won on a 50-cent bet. This was on a slot machine, one of the pig ones, not the pigs where they burst, but like the piggy bankin', I think.
They're all pigs.
That is true. All slot machines are pigs. But it was like, I think like the piggy bankin' one. 50-cent bet, ended up winning $15,000. Not too shabby. That was over at M Resort.
Which is another popular local resort, which is beautiful. And during the summer, they're known for their entertainment at the pool on the weekends. So keep an eye on that if you want to do something a little bit different and get off the strip.
And then the next one, this one is gonna make you feel a little like...
Dragons?
Yeah, you're gonna be a little jealous.
Dragons?
Yes. Why can't it be me?
why can't it be me? Just once. I only want to win once. That's it.
Really?
So I'm fine with that. If I could win one jackpot on every type of different slot machine in the casino, I'm happy.
That's not saying I only want to win once. That's like
I want to win once on each machine. What's wrong with that?
Good luck with that.
So I'm happy if I can win one time on Dragon Link. You get all the balls in there and you win the jackpot. And I just found out that resets at 10,000. The big progressive resets at 10,000 for those there. So the higher you see it, the more likely it is to win, I guess. It's not a must hit, but it resets at 10,000. So if you see it at like 10,500, somebody probably just won. Now, that doesn't mean that it may not hit one more time, because that random number generator thing, every single time you press that button, It's a brand new experience. So can it hit back to back to back to back? Theoretically, absolutely. Have I ever seen that happen? Never in my life. So somebody won over $18,000 on the Dragon Link at Orleans, which Orleans, that's a Boyd property. It's another local favorite property. Maybe 5 minutes from the Strip.
Yeah,
it's not far at all.
They have great entertainment there. They have Marriage Can Be Murder dinner show is there. The Conjurers are there. They have a lot of great dining options. Mm-hmm. It's just a fun place.
Yeah, it's a fun place. Yeah. It's got like a Mardi Gras theme to it.
Yeah.
Free parking.
It's called the Orleans. Oh, there you go, buddy.
Sorry, guys.
And last but not least, do you want to talk about this one since it's your absolute favorite game?
This is a big one. This is Pai Gow Poker. Somebody was playing over at Green Valley Ranch, which Green Valley Ranch used to be our casino because we lived right down less than a mile from Green Valley Ranch. That was our spot.
We spent a lot of time there. Another place that has great dining options inside the casino, outside in the district area, and just a fun casino. My sister said, this is the most beautiful casino I've ever been in. And it's a really pretty, nice casino.
And it was, like I said, less than a mile from our house. We drank a lot of beer and watched a lot of hockey at Parkway Tavern at Green Valley Ranch, the district at Green Valley Ranch right there. But that used to be our spot.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Back in the day.
Yeah, you got to.
That was our spot.
You've been hanging around with Ron too long.
I know. Old Ronnie is in my head. Somebody won the progressive jackpot on Pai Gow. They got a 7-card, all hearts, royal flush, 8 through ace. $543,650.
That would have been nice. And you did play a lot of Pai Gow there.
I played a lot of Pai Gow.
Yeah, maybe we need to start going back.
I did win a little bit, $100 here or there, but wow. Congratulations. I'm sure they're happy.
Yep. All right, moving on from news into weather. This is what you can expect this week in Vegas when it comes to the weather. We got quite the difference in temperatures throughout the week. And that's, we talk about this all the time, but March in Vegas is a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get. March is like a box of chocolates.
It might melt or it might be frozen.
Yeah, it's a little crazy here in March. So always pay really close attention if you're coming here to the weather because you're going to need a little bit of everything. And this week is a big indicator of that. We're starting off in the 70s, working our way down into the 60s, and ending up into the 50s with some rain possibly sprinkled in. Yeah. So, yuck. I mean, we started off talking about pools, and now we're talking about probably not going to be a good pool weather towards the end of the week.
Well, I know that people visiting from northern Minnesota, probably Canada, they might still hit the pool when it's 65 degrees.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember the pool being warm at Flamingo, so they're testing out that new pool.
Going to test out that new pool. It opens on March 17th.
Yeah.
There will be people there.
There will be.
I'm sure to document all over their social media. It's March 17th, and the pool just opened today, and I'm here. They're going to be doing their thing. The weather could potentially be terrible, though.
Yeah. If you drink enough, you probably don't feel it anyway.
That's for sure. We are not advocating for drinking, but it might help a little bit.
It might help. And speaking about March 17th, the opening date of the Flamingo Go Pool, that is also St. Patrick's Day. And St. Patrick's Day in Vegas is, of course, a lot of fun. Yeah. But it starts off before St. Patrick's Day, of course.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, because it's Vegas. We can't just do one day.
There are no days in Vegas.
Amateur hour.
There are no days in Vegas. Yeah. There's no start or end or it doesn't exist in Vegas. It just keeps going.
Yes. Yep. So it kicks off. The big party is typically always down on the Fremont Street Experience, of course. And that kicks off on the 15th and runs through the 17th. And so you can expect big crowds drinking green beer, lots of drunk
people. And other kinds of beers and seltzers and cocktails and just having a grand old time.
Yeah, it gets really busy down there. A lot of people do dress up in their, fun little, just maybe casual green to you see some people really getting into the spirit of St. Patrick's Day. But it's a lot of fun. There's live music throughout the day and night, and it's great. But if you do not like crowds, I would highly recommend staying away from there. And also expect, because it's such a busy event, that it might be a little bit of a wait for rideshare, and your price might be a little bit more if you're coming in from the Strip, for example, and heading into downtown.
But once you get in there, there's live music on all of the stages all day long. It's such a fun time. I mean, the energy, everybody's having fun.
It is fun. It's a true St. Patrick's Day experience because, I mean, you know, that's what people do on St. Patrick's Day. They drink. They drink.
And on other days in Vegas,
they still drink.
They still drink.
Yeah. So I guess it's just you wear green.
You wear green while you're in Vegas during that time.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the big thing happening. And it'll be happening all weekend for St. Patrick's Day, kicking off on the 15th.
And then down in the Link Promenade, which is one of our favorite places if you watch our channel, down at O'Shea's, which is where O'Shea's is. O'Shea's used to be down on the Strip. No longer. That's when between the Link and Flamingo was just like an alley back in the day. Back in the day. I have to stop saying that. Ron.
I know. I feel like we're going to have to start like a drinking game out of that. Every time you drink, every time you say back in the day, take a shot.
There'd be about 5 shots already.
Yeah, wouldn't be able to complete this podcast.
I will be making a conscious effort. No more BID.
Okay.
BITD. No more.
Right.
Anyway, O'Shea's is now down in the Link Promenade, and they have a big party down there outside, actually all up and down the Link Promenade.
And that's usually only on St. Patrick's Day. Same with like at the park by New York, New York. They usually do something over in that area. But the big weekend bash, like always, with any holiday or any excuse that Fremont Street Experience can get to have a whole weekend party, they do it. So if you're in town this weekend, enjoy.
So now let's get into some of the concerts, comedians, and sports, and all that stuff that's going on in Vegas. We've got Chicago over at the Venetian on the 9th, 12th, 14th, and 15th.
A lot of times to see them, yeah.
But they come here throughout the year.
Yeah, they have a residency. I think they might be finishing it up.
Yeah, they come throughout the year.
Yep, and then Garth Brooks doing his thing at the Coliseum. He'll be there the previous weekend, and then Sunday, I believe, the 9th, is his last show for March.
Before the encores and final shows and goodbye shows.
He'll be back. It's Garth Brooks. He's not going anywhere.
Why not?
Yeah.
A good time. People come to see him, stay. This guy I haven't seen in Vegas for a minute. Bryan Adams is going to be over at the Wynn.
Have you seen him anywhere in a minute?
Not that I've noticed.
Because Bryan Adams is old school. That's like we're talking 80s.
Yeah. So Bryan Adams doing his thing at the Wynn on the 12th, 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Yep. And then kind of right next door, we've got Pitbull over at Fontainebleau.
The opposite of Bryan Adams.
I know, I was going to say. That's what you got to love about Vegas. If there's, you don't like this genre of music or you don't like this artist,
go across the street.
There's going to be something that you do like because there's a little something for everyone all across the board here, I feel, for sure. Pitbull's going to be there on the 12th, the 14th, and the 15th.
Maroon 5, who we've seen, great performance, over at Dolby Live on the 12th, 14th, and 15th. And they're another one that's in Vegas quite a bit throughout the year.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah.
They just can't stay away.
That's a fun city. Why wouldn't you want to come perform in Vegas?
It's a fun city, and they seem to be doing very well. People love them some Maroon 5, myself included. We've got the Eagles back at the Sphere on the 14th and the 15th.
Rod Stewart over at Caesars Coliseum on the 12th, 14th, and 15th.
He's back. And we've got Kill Switch and Gage. They're over at Virgin Las Vegas on the 13th. And then we're getting into some comedy.
We've got Stavros Halkias. Stavros Halkias. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's Greek.
Yeah.
Stavros is going to be over at Cosmopolitan on the 14th.
Yep. And we've got Tom Papa over at the Venetian on the 14th and the 15th. I like him. He's funny. He's a funny one. We've watched a few Netflix with him on it. He's funny. A lot of dad.
He's got the little beard?
No. Glasses. A lot of dad humor, family humor, kind of dry, sarcastic.
I'm going to have to take another look. Because it might have been a Monday night power nap.
It could be. You do fall asleep a lot during.
My couch is so comfortable. It's so comfortable. It's like once you put your head back, lights out. Yeah. I'm sure there's some of you out there that can relate.
All right. And sports-wise, we've got the Vegas Golden Knights at T-Mobile against the Kings. That's going to be probably a very packed arena because usually when the Kings come into town, it's packed.
A lot of drive-in traffic.
Yep. And that's going to be on the 9th.
And then we've got big league weekend. The Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be playing the Las Vegas Aviators at the Las Vegas ballpark on the 9th as well as the 8th. So the 8th and 9th. And that's a great area. Make a day of it. One thing that I love about the Aviators is that it's right in the middle of downtown Summerlin. You've got Red Rock Casino with tons of dining options. You've got downtown Summerlin with tons of dining options, retail. It's very walkable. It's just a really great part of town. So you can make an entire day around a ball game down there.
Yeah,
I really like that.
For sure. And it's probably a little bit more affordable than going to just a complete MLB game because it's the Aviators. So.
Yeah.
And then we've got Tough Enough 142. That's at
Are
Virgin.
you tough enough? Wasn't that a song? Tough enough.
It wasn't right now.
I was in chorus back in the day.
Okay. Oh, shots. All right. That's going to be over at Virgin Las Vegas on the 14th. Is that like a kind of an MMA type of a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like amateur MMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But they still fight. I mean, they're doing their thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we've got some NASCAR over at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Craftsman Truck Series, that's going to be on the 14th. Then we've got the Xfinity Series on the 15th and the Pennzoil 400 on the 16th.
Now, is this when they do the whole kind of parade down
The
Las
truck
Vegas
parade.
Boulevard?
Yep, the trailer parade that comes down.
Okay.
We saw them when we were at Sahara eating.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is all that noise happening outside?
Yeah, we were at Chicky and Pete's. It was nice. We had a nice window view of that at Sahara when we were there. Okay, so that you can expect a little traffic during that time. I'm not 100% when that happens, but I know it's usually it's starting on the 14th, so I believe is it the day before the race, so like the 13th.
So you know what? We're gonna do a little bit of research after this, and we'll put it up on our Instagram.
Okay, sounds good.
So hit us up on Instagram, Ninth Island Connection. We'll put all of that stuff there, and we post there every single day on stuff that's announced, canceled, and all that stuff. So just hit us up on Instagram there for all of the daily updates on what's going on in Vegas.
Okay. And even though like the NASCAR is happening in North Las Vegas, which is not close to the Strip or downtown by any means, it's its own city. But
it's a pretty straight shot though up there.
It is, but it's still like there's not really like the lodging. So when people are coming in, they're typically staying downtown or on the Strip. So it does bring in a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So it will be a little busier.
If I'm coming to Vegas for anything at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and you asked me, hey, there's an Econo Lodge, 5 minutes, or we could stay on the Strip, the Strip's going to win all day long.
Yeah. A little more fun.
Yeah.
A little more fun, pinch.
Absolutely.
Pinch more fun. All right, and last but not least, we have the Tough Putteman Bull Riding, and that's over at South Point on the 15th. So South Point has this huge arena. They do a lot of rodeo stuff, a lot of horse shows, equestrian
and NASCAR.
Events. Yep. They are a part of usually a sponsor, but there's
there's the South Point 400.
Yes.
That's a race also.
But it's not at South Point.
No, but they are the sponsor. So
yeah.
A lot of these NASCAR drivers, they actually keep their cars over at South Point also with different races throughout the year.
Yeah. All right. So that is it, what's happening for this week in Vegas. Of course, all of the regular shows, the Cirque shows, the comedy shows, the magic shows are still happening. One show that has been in Vegas for decades, and I feel like obviously he's doing something right, is Carrot Top. Carrot Top has been performing at the Luxor for decades. I think is he the longest running comedic performer
in Vegas.
In Vegas, yes. And you know what? I don't know why it took us so long to see the show, but he's hilarious, so funny. Of course, he does his prop humor, but just a lot of like relevant events. So I mean, he's got a lot of ammunition right now. But he doesn't pick sides. It's not like that, but it's just I loved it. I would totally recommend checking out Carrot Top over at Luxor. There's some great dining options over there. There's actually a lot of cool attractions at Luxor too that you could do before or after a show. There's the playground is there. And that's actually right next to the theater where Carrot Top is at. There's like the more educational, like King Tut's tomb and the Titanic.
That's been there for a long time.
The Real Bodies is over there.
Real Bodies, yep.
Yeah. And then of course there's the Blue Man Group show too. But yeah, there's a lot in like that little corridor over at Luxor, which is really kind of cool.
And if you don't go upstairs, you will never know that any of that exists.
Exactly. I feel like, Luxor sometimes doesn't get the love it deserves because there's,
I think it's, some people out there, not any of you specifically, but there is a view or a train of thought, I should say, that if a property is older, that it must be just not good or falling apart. Luxor has been around for a very long time, and we've stayed there many times.
Yeah, and we've stayed in, I remember staying in the Pyramid Tower before it was renovated, and I get it. I get where people could hate on it because it was kind of an
old, but it was clean.
Room.
It was fine.
Yeah, but those have, like, the pyramid's been renovated, the towers have been renovated. It's really nice. The pool's a lot of fun. And you're in a pyramid. I just think it's cool. And then you have that access to, of course, Excalibur and Mandalay Bay as well. But I like Luxor. But if you're whether you're staying there or not, add Carrot Top to your list. Great show. And just go check out all the different activities there. Again, no one at Luxor is paying us to pitch Luxor or Carrot Top or any of that. This is just based on our experience of things we enjoy in Vegas.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on this one. If you guys are looking for even more Vegas, be sure to hit us up on our social media. We're on Instagram, we're TikToking, we're on Facebook, we're on Blue Sky, we're Ninth Island Connection, everywhere. And stay tuned. There's even more Vegas coming up, a fresh episode.